Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Catherine Walters, and I'm the Joy Coach. And I'm thrilled that you're here because I've been blessed to organize this series called Stress Free You, where I've invited 22 of the top speakers on this from a wide range of fields. So they're from a little bit of everything, which is just so much fun and really fascinating because they have come to share their tools, their techniques, their experience, their wisdom, so that they can help all of us transform stress and burnout and experience more peace and joy. Now, I'm thrilled today to have with me Tandy Elisala. And Tandy has worked for over 30 years. And she has over 30 years of experience in leading people and coaching people in corporate America and in many other places and all around the world to just have their best life. She's worked in corporate America for 25 years, and she's had all sorts of leadership roles. She's also taught at the University of Phoenix as well, both online and at their college, the University in Arizona. She just has a wealth of knowledge, and I'm just thrilled to welcome Tandy. Hello, Tandy. How are you today?
Hi, Catherine. I am doing amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, good. So, thank you. So, Tandy, we're talking about, I didn't explain it here, and I know it's in your bio on your webpage, but I said to you before we got on the line that, your life experience spells stress. I mean, seriously, folks, she has had, you name it, she's experienced it, okay? So, Tandy, will you share with us, what you've experienced and, just give us a picture.
Okay. Well, when I have been diagnosed with cancer 4 times. I've kicked cancer's butt 4 times.
Wow.
Officially in remission. Everything is great. I am healthy. Yet through my journey of cancer 4 times, I've also I left, as you mentioned, I worked in corporate America for 25 years, and I left my executive VP role in corporate America to take care of both of my parents simultaneously for very different reasons. My dad was my already disabled mother's caregiver. She was had high everything, was diagnosed with cancer several weeks before his accident, had congestive heart failure, COPD, diabetes, kidney failure, you name it. And my dad was hit by a semi on December 22nd of 2009. It made national news. There was over 20 cars involved, multiple deaths. And my dad, who was in a doctorate program at the time and working full-time, became totally disabled. He suffered severe traumatic brain injury and physical injuries. My mother already also, in addition to the other stuff, she also had paranoid schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. So she had some severe mental illness as well. My kids and I was divorced. I was going through a divorce at the time of the accident. And we, my kids and I made the decision to move my parents in with us into our modest 4-bedroom home. And until their needs exceeded our capabilities, we would take care of them until their deaths. And that's what we did. And there were many, many times, Catherine, that my parents were in multiple hospitals in different parts of the valley, 50 miles away each. I was selling their homes, renting, I was getting rid of stuff. You name it, like all the legal, all the medical, all the personal, all the spiritual, just everything. And as my dad's and my mom's advocate, I was there. I was their voice, and I needed to be there, literally 24/7. And I learned a lot about stress and how to handle that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But then, I saw them through their respective deaths in 2012. And then experienced financial ruin. It was extremely tough, because I wasn't working. I was taking care of them. And after they died, it was a real challenge, financially, raising kids as a single parent, and then being a caretaker as well as a care receiver. So that actually isn't even all that was going on, but that kind of helps paint a little bit of a picture about some of the stuff that was going on. And that's just outside of the whole corporate America, go, 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 work, 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 hit the wall at 100 miles an hour kind of thing.
So tell us, how did you handle all the stress?
Oh, well, the first thing is I had a pretty solid foundation of self-care before this happened, which really served me well. And so I would say number one was gratitude. And here's an interesting way to shift things when things are happening in the moment. For example, my dad's accident. We didn't know whether he was going to live or die, et cetera. It was a very rough road for a long time. And I would ask myself, okay, how am I feeling right now? Like, just tap in, Tandy. How are you feeling right now? And it would be anxiousness or anger, or sadness. And then I would say, okay, is this serving me? Is this serving me? Is this emotion serving me right now? No, it's not. Okay. All right. Next question. What could I feel? What could I be thankful for right now? Okay. Well, my dad was alive. My mom was alive. My kids were healthy. I'm healthy and alive. We have the ability to take care of them. They have medical insurance. I mean, the list goes on.
Sure.
So I just sat in with that. And the key is to really feel. You've got to really evoke the emotions, because emotion is what creates memory. Mm-hmm. And so you've got it to stick, in order for it to stick, you've really got to feel it. So I would ask myself those questions. And when times were really, really tough and I couldn't get to the G word, the gratitude word.
G word, I love it.
Yeah. What I did was I said, okay, Tandy. And I had a success jar. And what I did was I got a pen and a piece of paper, any old piece of paper, and every night I wrote down one thing that went well that day. It could have been I got out of bed without stubbing my toe. It could have been I was breathing. It could have been I was able to see that day. It could have been I saw a butterfly. Whatever it was, littlest thing. It didn't have to be big. I threw it in the jar. And then each week I would take it out and I would have some time then to really reflect and sit in gratitude for those things that went well.
Wow, Tandy, that is absolutely amazing. And I love what you just said about how you take out your success jar and you look at all the things that you've written in there and you really feel them. Because I think we probably both see so many people and even our friends and family where we just blip by all of those things that we're feeling because we're so in a hurry, we're so rushed, we're so busy. And yet what you're saying, if I'm repeating it correctly, is that you take those things and you really feel them.
Absolutely.
That's what changes things.
Yes, absolutely. That is the power. That's the secret sauce, really, I think, is because, when we're feeling negative feelings, worry, doubt, loathing, anger, whatever, we are in a place of resistance.
Sure.
And as we know, what resists persists, right? So we're always manifesting. We are powerful manifestors. It's a question of what we're manifesting. So those questions that I mentioned, sure, help build the gap or help, bridge the gap. Thank you. Between where you were and then where you want to be. And it is really important to feel the gratitude and to feel the joy. And, even, during the really tough times when I was, in a hospital with my dad, I would take 5 minutes, Catherine, 5 minutes, and I would go outside and I would just either sit on the bench and admire the trees and the leaves swaying, or just walk around. And I would be really intentional about looking at nature and being grateful for what that brings to, this powerful universe. So that is really, really, really important. And I think it's a big part of self-care. And I think sometimes when we don't take time for ourselves, even though the 5 minutes, or even taking time to do some deep breathing before you get out of bed, before my feet hit the pillow, or before my feet hit the floor, I'm giving thanks for something, every single day. And that really, and then setting an intention for the day of how I want to feel. And that really sets the day, Catherine. Like, it really helps set the day for a really, powerful, productive one.
And that is so true, Tandy. And it's like, I want to touch on a couple of things you just said, because I think they bear repeating so that our viewers and our listeners can hear what you just said, is that, again, and other speakers have said the same thing, it doesn't take a lot of time. But each of us has to take time for ourselves, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it doesn't have to be at any particular time of the day. Like here, you were at the hospital, you just went outside in the middle of the day. Yep. But I also another key point that you made is that you were intentional about it. You intentionally stopped. You didn't have your cell phone on, or whatever. Maybe you had your cell phone on, but you weren't listening to it at the time.
Right.
And you were intentionally looking and connecting with nature.
That's right.
And appreciating nature and breathing it in, basically, is what you were doing. You're imbibing it into your being.
That's right.
And that made all the difference.
Yeah. I was able, with that 5 minutes, I was able to go another 4 hours.
Wow.
And be okay. And, the other big thing, I think, as we talk about self-care and, in this season, right? We're hustle and bustle. Everything's, we've got family, we've got friends, we've got showers, we've got concerts, we've got parties. And let's just face it, ladies. Most of the time we don't want to go. Or at least to half of those things. We're doing it out of obligation, or because a spouse, a partner, kids, whatever. And I want to tell you that you have the permission to put yourself first. You don't need permission, but I'm giving it to you. Like, if you feel like you need it, you take it. Because if, in seeing my parents through everything that I've been through, being a caregiver and a care receiver, going through divorce, raising my kids as a single parent, and the tremendous financial challenges that I experienced, on top of my own health challenges, boundaries was super important.
Yep.
Like, I if I had to pick one thing behind gratitude, it would be boundaries. And here's my challenge. My challenge would be, find one thing that you have said yes to, there's two challenges. First is, find something that you said yes to. It might be that baby shower. It might be the company party. It might be whatever it is. Find something that you said yes to, you're obligated to. It's in your calendar, but you are dreading it. You're just dreading it. You don't want to go. And I want you to not go. I want you to, and I want to be, take a moment here and talk about, I get, our word is our bond. We want to be, with integrity, right, with who we are and what we say. But but find something that you said yes to and you really wanted to say no to. And I want you to let them know and say no. Yeah. And then, you will feel better. You will feel better. You will feel so empowered and like on top of the world, like, yes. And the second thing is a tip, because so often we as women say yes. We're so quick to say yes. And when we say yes to the wrong things, we aren't making room for the right things in our lives. So you've got to say no to the wrong things so that you can say yes to the right things. Otherwise, your calendar is going to be full. You're going to be so burned out and so stressed to the max, you aren't going to have any space for anything else.
Right.
So yeah, the next time somebody invites you to something or asks you for something, instead of just saying yes, I want you to say no. Or, and you've probably heard many people say, no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anybody anything. But I get that, especially as recovering yes people, or just as women, with families, it can be hard to just say no. So here are some ways you could do that. You could say, I really appreciate you thinking of me. However, my calendar, I'm already committed in something else. Or you can say, I'm honored that you thought of me, or thank you for the invitation. It sounds like a great time. I'm going to pass. Or, there's so many other ways that you can say no.
Absolutely.
And stay in integrity with yourself. But don't burn yourself out. Stay home and take a bubble bath,
Exactly. I think also I like how you said, I agree with you about that. We're so quick to say yes. And even if we don't want to I think sometimes we say yes because we don't really give ourselves a chance to think about, is it a yes or a no? So one thing I like to do is, I'm not sure right this moment, I need to, can I get back to you? And I'll give myself, like, say, 24 hours or whatever, but, I don't. I think that's one of the things I like about email is that I might get an email, but I can sit with it for a day or so, or at least overnight till I feel like I, need to respond. So in those moments where we feel pressured, it's like not say yes or say no immediately, but give ourselves some slack.
That's right. Absolutely. And email is a great example of your ability to do that. And recently I heard someone say something that was really profound. And he said, when you're talking to people, verbally, and they're asking you, for a favor or something, when you say maybe, you're actually opening the door for them to ask again, because you've got to go back now and say no. So it's almost like saying no twice. And I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. But here's a couple of quick questions that I ask myself when I am asked to do something or participate in something. I ask myself, okay, is this in line with my goals and my vision? If yes, then it's a yes. How much time and space is this going to take?
Right.
Or is it going to further a cause or something? Is it going to grow me and stretch me? And, if my first inclination is to say no because I'm shrinking and going small, then that's my sign that I should say yes because it can stretch me and grow. But if it's not in line with my goals, it's not in line with my vision or mission, it's not something I like to do, it's not something I'm good at, it's not something that's going to further a cause, a revolution, a mission, or stretch me, or it's not going to help other people. Now, when I say help other people, I mean on a global scale like this,
Sure.
Helping other women. Then I really have to say, wow, is that really something I should be investing my time with? And then the answer is no. And when you ask yourself those questions, the no's become easier.
Absolutely. And those are, I really like how you're breaking this down for us, Tandy, because so many people, even in books we read, just say no, but you're giving us actual tips and tools on how to say no and when to say no, and how, those questions to ask ourselves so that we can make, which is really, you're asking us basically, you're telling us how to connect with ourselves, how to go inside, how to check in with our emotions and our thoughts and see, how do I do this? So I really appreciate your practical questions with this, because I know they're going to really help people, because that it's like we don't get it's. Well, it may sound like, ABCs or whatever, but most of us were not taught, or boundaries were not taught to us or modeled to us, because our mothers and grandmothers and everybody, they just did and gave and burned themselves out. And also in corporate America, we're seeing women do that all the time.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, while I was in corporate America, I was the sickest. Seriously. I had chronic sinusitis, chronic bronchitis, chronic pneumonia. Like, I had so many things wrong physically because I was putting everybody else ahead of myself. I had, team of 1,000 people. And so I put them first, and I put my immediate, team first. I put my kids first. I put my dog first. I put everybody first. And, I think society tells us, like, it mistakenly, that we've got to put, for example, our kids, we've got to put our family first. Like, any woman worth her weight in gold is going to put her family first. If you don't put your family first, you're being selfish, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the selfish thing. The selfish thing is putting everybody else first because when you end up getting hit by the 2x4, that big 2x4 that hits us when we don't listen the first couple times,
Exactly.
to those small, subtle, nudges, then we're going to get sick, like I did.
Exactly.
You're going to get sick. And then you're not going to be any good to anybody.
Exactly.
And the only way to honor your family and to be there for them is to take care of yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It's like, I've burned out of a number of different professions simply because, I just put everybody else first, everything else first. And it was like, I could hear that inner voice that was said inside of me, what about me? And it just got to that point. And fortunately, I had like minor things, didn't get to cancer, thank goodness. Well, skin cancer, but it's a little bit different. But still, it was, it was a wake-up call.
Absolutely.
But I had other chronic conditions as well. And we put up with that. And we think that, the rest of the things that we're, quote, supposed to want, but, that society tells us we need or want, like, the home or the SUV and I'm not saying those things are bad. I'm really not. But if they're more important than we are to ourselves, we've got it backwards.
That's right. That's right. Amen, sister. That's right.
Yeah, it's definitely it really is. And I hope we're educating women. I know you are in this conversation, because let's reiterate, let's give women the permission to take care of themselves first.
Yes.
And absolutely know they are not being selfish. They're being self-loving.
They are being selfless.
Exactly.
And I used to focus on family caregiving as a family caregiver coach, and I used to tell my clients that the only way that a lot of people think that putting together advance directives, wills, all that stuff is giving away their power, is giving away their independence. And I would constantly tell them, no, it is the only way you are guaranteeing your independence. It is the only way to guarantee that your voice is heard. Yep. And so the same analogy here with all of the amazing women that have such rich, full lives and are blessed to be in a position to be doing so much. We've got to live our lives with passion and purpose. We've got to stay the course. We've got to love ourselves first. And if we aren't loving ourselves first, we aren't taking care of ourselves. That's your first clue. If somebody isn't exercising self-care, then they're on some level, there's a worthiness issue.
Yep, absolutely. It truly is. And it's like you and I both work with people all the time, because that's where it all starts.
That's right.
It's literally where it all starts, and we've had it backwards, or we've been missing that. It's been like the missing piece for such a long time. And so we get to let people release that guilt and embrace who they are. So Tandy, I know we could go on and on. We already basically addressed the holidays a little bit and overwhelm. So I know you have a really fabulous gift for everyone. So can you tell us what that is?
Yes, thank you, Catherine. Thank you. It's been such an honor and a pleasure. I have created a self-care checklist.
Ooh.
And it is a checklist that has ideas for self-care. And I've broken them down by physical health, emotional health, financial health, and spiritual health. So there's the different categories. So if there's an area, maybe you feel like, yeah, I'm really great at the physical self-care. Great, well, let's take a look at the other 3 areas and pick one thing that resonates with you and try it. So folks can get that. It's amazing checklist, tons of really simple, easy ideas that they can put in their life today. And they can get that at bit.ly. So it's http://bit.ly, bit.ly/self-care list.
Okay, and that link will also be on the page with your picture and everything, Tandy, so they'll be able to get it. Okay, but thank you for sharing that as well. And then I know, like this, when this is airing, that you will actually be a special event is coming up that you're participating in December, and I'd really love for you to share that with folks.
Oh, thank you so much, Catherine, for that opportunity. Yes, I am super, super excited to be co-hosting an online goddess retreat with my friend and JV partner, Teresa Safi. And we are putting together December 5th through the 11th, an amazing lineup of speakers where every day we have a different theme that will help women connect to their divine feminine, connect to that beautiful inner child, inner woman. And it's a great way to give to yourself, because you're going to get, we're going to have a nutritionist. We're going to have somebody talking about hormones. We're going to have somebody talking about feng shui in our environment. We're going to have a man talking about relationships and what men really want and how women and men can work closer together. We're going to have a self-love expert. We're going to have an artist who's going to really walk us through an intuitive process there, and other stuff. So we're really super excited. Oh, and a belly dancer.
Also.
Yeah, so people can go to empowerthedream.com/goddess-retreat-2016 and learn more.
Okay. The other thing is, again, if you haven't already sent me that, please do, and then I'll be able to make sure that you have that folks can see that as well. Because I know I participated in an online retreat already, and I know I want to create them for my folks as well, but they're really powerful.
Yeah.
They really, because it's that creating that sacred space, that container for ourselves that's a little bit longer than 5 minutes. But it doesn't have to be an extensive length of time either, but to just nurture and feed ourselves, and especially at this December time of year, which is when we're giving to everybody else. What a perfect time to fill yourself up. So as I say, you can give from your overflow, not from your source.
That's
and
right.
That really makes a huge difference. So Tandy, it's been a real pleasure, a real honor. Thank you for being here on the Stress for You Summit. It's awesome. I love your practical tips. And thank you, everyone, for your participation on the Stress for You Summit as well. I know we're going to have other experts as well besides Tandy, so please stay tuned. Look in your inbox for who's next. And in the meantime, following what Tandy has to say is take good care of yourself, do the self-care, and let the stress go. Thank you for being here. Namaste.